Hey, welcome back. This is part two of being stranded in New York. If you haven't seen part one yet, there'll be a link around here somewhere to get you caught up. But let's get into it. Now that we had a place for the night, we could work on the next step of our plan. I was able to contact my bank and let them know about the issues with the refund. They were initially unwilling to help. But after my mom talked to the rep and put on a big sob story, they reluctantly agreed to advance me some cash under the strict stipulation that if the refund didn't clear, I'd be boned. Now, with all that out of the way, we were free to rest up and prepare for the next day. And boy howdy, day two was a doozy. We woke up in the hotel, which was pretty small for $500 a night, checked out, and left. Our plan for the day was to do some touristy stuff and get in contact with my uncle's friend in order to arrange a place to stay for our second night. However, she was a flight attendant and was caught up in the same situation we were about flying in. She was stuck somewhere too and wasn't sure when she'd be able to make it home. But she gave us the phone number of her neighbor who could let us into her apartment. If only we could reach him. We tried again and again all day in between sightseeing. We ended up walking all over the island in our attempt to find an alternative place to stay, in case he couldn't be reached. Every hotel and hostel we visited was booked solid, due to the fact that it was Pride weekend. As the day is getting later and later, we start to panic. No place to stay, and our next flight was another day out. At one point, we started asking homeless people where would be a good place to sleep. This one gent told us to avoid the park because people will fuck with you. We listened intently, like, uh-huh. He said it's best to find a well-lit spot, like in front of a store or with lots of people to watch your back. So we continue on looking for a place to sleep. Our phones were dying, and we were exhausted. When suddenly, the neighbor guy returns my mom's phone call. He had gotten in touch with the uncle's friend who told him if he could let us into her apartment. We were elated and hauled ass to where she lived. He let us in, and we were overjoyed to have beds to sleep in. Moments ago, we were literally looking for a comfy bit of concrete to lay our heads. So we survived night two. And with how exhausted we were from the day prior, we slept through the entire parade. But not to worry, we would be heading home soon. I remember we stopped into a burger place to grab lunch. After placing my order, I find my mom talking with this group of friends who had just come from the parade. We told them about our adventure and how we missed the day's festivities. One of them said, "Why don't you take some pictures with us and tell all your friends back home that you were at the parade?" I thought, that was a brilliant idea. He continued to say, "That's New York, baby. Fake it till you make it." And we did. The trip home was much less eventful. We took a bus to New Jersey, boarded our plane, and the only hiccup was our layover in Arizona for like 5 hours. The whole time I'm thinking, home is like just over the horizon. We could drive there. But eventually our flight came and we made it home. While making this video, I remembered a few other events that didn't really tie into the saga of being stranded. But at one point, my mom and I went to a comedy club, had a beer, and watched a few minutes of a comedian. When we got the bill, they were charging us something like $25 for 2 beers. Since we didn't have much cash on hand, we decided to leave some money on the table and pull a runner. Only to find out they don't let you out of the club until your bill is paid, so we ended up having to pony up the dough for their ridiculous prices. Another stop we made was this famous comic book shop called Midtown Comics. It's just off of Times Square, but after Googling the address, it was kind of tough to find until we noticed this tiny little door with a simple sign. I was thinking, no way, this is it. I was expecting like a huge window display or something. Well, we go into the door that leads directly up this rickety flight of stairs, get to the end, and the only option is to turn left. Then you can see the comic book shop. It was massive. It even had another story above that. That concludes our story for today. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment below of your most memorable vacation. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Be safe, and don't do anything I would do.